Hi, it's Darnell at NuWave Recipes, and today I'm going to be making peach almond flour squares using the NuWave Todd English Pro Smart Grill. So let's get cooking right now. So the first thing I want to show you is the peach. It's a large peach. If you're going to be using small peaches, you might want to use two. But basically I'm going to get this chopped up in the food chopper, so next time you see it with the other ingredients, it'll be pretty chopped up. So I just wanted you to take a look at it before that. So lots of ingredients to go over. I've turned on the light so you can see things better. And I'll go through the dry ingredients, then the wet ingredients. Got 2 cups of blanched almond flour. I got 2 teaspoons of guar gum. Got 2 teaspoons of baking powder back there. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of organic monk fruit extract powder. You only need a little bit of that to do a whole lot of sweetening, because like 1/8 of a teaspoon is equal to a teaspoon of sugar, but use the sweetener of your choice. That is my preference. I've got 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Going to throw a little cinnamon in there. Now for the wet ingredients, I've got the peach all chopped up here. Got 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Got one large duck egg. Sorry for that bang. Use 2 large chicken eggs if you aren't using duck eggs. Duck eggs just rise nicer. Also going to be using a 1/4 cup of honey. And so basically going to get the wet ingredients in the wet bowl, dry ingredients in the dry bowl. One more wet ingredient I forgot about. Going to be using a 1.5 sticks of melted butter. So that's basically 3/4 cup of melted butter in there. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to spill it. We're going to get the wet in the wet bowl, dry in the dry bowl, and bring you back. Alright, so I've got the dry stuff in the dry bowl, wet stuff mixed up in the wet bowl. I'm going to start preheating while I get the wet stuff into the dry bowl and mix it all up into my batter. Then I've got a ramekin with extra light olive oil already sprayed all inside it that I'll pour the batter into. But to get things preheated and to run the cook, I'm going to use a combo. Did I turn this? Yeah, let me make sure I turn it on. I'm going to use the combo function. I've got the grill plate down on the bottom to bring heat from the bottom, and it'll do its heat from the top too. And I've got a wire rack kind of in the middle here to put the ramekin on. It's a 9-inch ramekin. So I've hit combo. Now I'm going to change the distribution of heat to 50-50, so it's 50% from the bottom, 50% from the top. For the cooking temperature, I'm going to bring it down to 350, like that. And now for the time, we're going to need at least 30, maybe more minutes. So I guess I'm going to put it at 40, but you know, I'm thinking or hoping it'll be done in 30, but anyway, I'm going to use 40 just in case I need more. So hit and start. Going to let it do its preheat, then we'll get things on in there. Going to finish mixing up my batter here. And I do want to point out, while the preheat is finishing, this cooker doesn't have a bake function, so that's why I'm using combo with the 50-50 setting to try and kind of give it a bake effect. But we'll see how that works out once I get things in there. Still preheating and should be done in a moment. And done preheating. So getting it on in there. Alright. So I'll let things cook for at least 30 minutes, and then I'll check things out. I'm not going to spin it around or anything. It's got a pretty thick front door, so we're going to hope that it can hold the heat in well. We'll just see what we get in about 30 minutes and see if we need more time. Alright, so things have been cooking for 19 minutes, and I took a look in there with the light on, and it looks like the top's getting really cooked over. I'm just going to open up real quick just to show you. If you can see, the top's getting really brown. So it's going to get really cooked over. I'm not going to try and like throw foil or anything like that on top of it. I'm going to let it continue to basically cook like this, and Hope that it doesn't get too messed up, but just wanted to show you that so you could get a look, so that when I'm pulling things out, you don't expect the top to be like golden brown or something. You know, it'll be a little overcooked, but I'll bring you back in a bit, let it go for about another 11 minutes, and we'll see what we get. Alright, so 30 minutes have passed. I'm going to open up, have a look. And before anyone asks, the reason why I'm not using anything on the top is because I don't want to. I don't mind it being a little overcooked on the top or a little blackened or brown. I'm fine with it. But that's how it looks. And just going to feel. It feels like I can tell from feeling it that the inside is not very firm, not very, yeah, it's not cooked very hard in there. So I'm going to close back up. I'll have to let it go for the next 10 minutes and basically, you know, probably be a little harder cooked on the top, but I'm pretty certain the inside is not going to be very overcooked. I can tell it needs some more cooking. So I guess when you're baking in this cooker, using the combo feature to try and do your baking, you'd have to make the top even lower than 50% to keep from overcooking your top. So that's something to keep in mind, but we'll let this keep going. I know I could have baked differently and put the ramekin, you know, lower and just try to do it that way, but I know it's still, the heat coming down, that it's still going to cook the top kind of hard anyway. So basically it seems like you just have to use combo, but really go really low on that top heat to try and avoid overcooking your top. So I'm going to let this continue though as is and just let it play out. So I'll bring you back in about 9 minutes. So this is cooked for the full 40 minutes, so I'm going to get things on out now. Sorry for that excessively loud beeping. Let's see what we got. I'm thinking for a bake like this, it's probably better to use like 20% on the top. But then you don't want to, you know, overcook your bottom, but still. Maybe 30% on the top. Maybe if I'd done 30% on the top, would have been cool. But you can tell me your idea for how much I should have put on top. But that's how it looks. I'm going to turn the light on. Maybe you can see a little better if let's see if I can turn the light on while the door's open. There we go. So that's how it looks. I'm going to set it aside and let it cool down. Okay, so I think that this cook has proven that when you cook things using the combo setting, the default of 70-30, 70 on the bottom, 30 on the top, is probably the better way to go than trying to make things 50-50, because you probably overcook your top. So I think NuWave gave a good hint when they recommended 70-30. I should have probably gone along with it. But we're going to get on in this thing and see how it's looking. Looks like inside things aren't like really overcooked, so that's cool. It's just the top side that got a little overcooking. I'm trying to get this thing out without messing it up too much. Alright, so there's your inside. You see the inside is just fine. So there we go. And you can see inside of the ramekin there. See how things look. So we'll go ahead and we'll try and taste test this and see how it turned out, you know, with taste. So thank God for these peach almond flour squares, and you can see the bottom there is not very heavily overcooked. So we'll go ahead and taste. Okay, it tastes very good. Tastes a little peach in there. Tastes a good bit of cinnamon, but it tastes pretty good. Pretty good combination there. And so don't really taste any burnt flavor from the bite there. So it definitely needed the 40 minutes to cook all the way through there. But use the 70-30, use the default, don't go trying to customize it like I did. But anyway, still good dessert, and you know, it's a lower glycemic index than using white flour or table sugar or, you know, other ingredients of that sort. Alright, so we're going to try a do-over, same ingredients, same 40-minute cook time at 350, but this time I'm going to use the 70 on the bottom, 30 on the top defaults for combo, and I do believe that's going to work out a lot better. I've been kind of doing some tests with other things other than these peach almond flour squares, and I think that things are going to turn out a bit nicer on the top. Even though the top of those, you know, was pretty cooked over, I didn't taste burnt when I ate them, which is cool. So you could say it was, you know, extra brown top on those, but still. We'll see how it does with 70-30 now. So hitting combo, we got the 30 on the top, 70 on the bottom. I'm going down to 350 on the temperature. I'm going up to 40 minutes on the cook time, since that's what we did before, and going to let that preheat. While that preheats, going to finish mixing the wet and dry and get it into the ramekin. Alright, time to get it on in there. Got the rack in the same position there, pour in the middle, close up. Just going to let it go for 40 minutes and we'll see what we get. Alright, 40 minutes of cooking time. Let's see what's going on in there. Alright, going to turn the light on so you can see better. Just pull that rack out a little bit. So there you go. It's definitely better than the last one on top. It's, you know, brown, but it's not like, you know, too dark of a brown. So I think that turned out pretty well. I'll set this aside and bring you back when it's cool. So I've given it some time to cool, and so turn the light on so you can see it well. But the good thing is, you know, I can see some like light spots in some areas, which you definitely could not see with the other one that was cooked earlier. So I'm going to basically just try and cut a piece out of here. Like so. See if I can get it out without making any mess or anything. And I did spray the pan with, the ramekin with extra light olive oil as before. Please don't confuse extra light olive oil with regular olive oil or extra virgin. It's definitely totally different. But you see here things look pretty decent. So we'll go ahead and we'll do another taste test. So thank God for this peach almond flour square. And let's go ahead and do a taste. Okay, it's equally as good as the first. So both turned out about the same as far as taste and texture, but using the 70-30 you do get a lighter top than 50-50. So NuWave knew what they were doing when they did the 70-30 thing, and I guess, you know, if you want to try a different combination, that's up to you. You can always leave a comment about your experiences. But now you know what to do, and I do prefer combo over for bakes, doing like, you know, without the grill plate, having it on a lower rack and having that hot air blow down. It still overdoes the top. So having some heat on the bottom with a little on the top, to me, is my preference. But nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing was given, and so in the video description there are lots of ways to help out the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop, pay the same price, help the channel. You can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. And with all of that said, if you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.